some of the most powerful sections of the media in the world. May 19, 2004, please read the editorial page piece of the Wall Street Journal, which attacks Indian voters for immaturity in ignoring, I quote, the global voter known as the investor. They're very, very angry that the Indian electorate has asserted itself. This is no way to behave. You can't vote for whom you like. You have to vote for whom we like. Okay? I think that the Indian public are an extraordinary lot in that sense. However, it's not enough. That's just one aspect of democracy. It's the electoral. That's why you see rich people in this country keep saying we should restrict the right to vote only to the educated. It's a way of the last weapon that the poor have, you want to take away. Right? So that's I think, you see, the thing is this. Indian people were always fit for democracy, but not Winston Churchill, who was the architect of the use of chemical weapons in Iraq. It was Winston Churchill who on the floor of the British Parliament said, I quote, I am all in favor of the use of poison gas against the primitive tribes. It would have a lively and chastening moral effect. And they used, do you know one of the great weapons of mass destruction discovered by the United Nations in Iraq turned out to be British weapons from that period. Yeah, the United Nations found weapons of that period which the British used against the Iraqi people. Who are these guys to talk to us about democracy? And about privatization of water and air. By the way, the world has made a pretty good effort at privatization of air. You read the Kyoto Protocols. Pay and pollute is now an accepted term. Okay, so you can pollute the air if you pay enough, or you buy credits from poor countries, you buy their share of the polluting rights. I mean, who gave us a right to pollute the planet to death? We're not the only creatures on it. Anyway, about the Indian judiciary, and boy, this is one of the most overdone illusions in our society, that the judiciary shall lead you to the promised land. The judiciary are part of your society. They reflect all the aspects of they play to the gallery. Sometimes they can give a fantastic decision. Sometimes they give absolutely obnoxious decisions. Okay? They're also corresponding to the social situation, to the gallery, to the media. They do respond to it. They're also human beings. And there's also another thing. Where do your judges come from? How many of them have come, say, from being giant criminal lawyers or giant corporate lawyers? If you've worked 30 years in a field, it has to have an impact on your thinking, unless you're an idiot. Right? So if you've had 30 years of working as a criminal lawyer for some of the top criminals, and you've had 30 years of working for corporations, it's going to have an influence on the kind of thinking, legal thinking you have. It may be that you're a genius and you rise far above that, as some people indeed do. Yes, they do. The Indian judiciary has given you some stunningly good decisions. Even recently there was one on workers in Uttar Pradesh, casual labor being regularized. It's a fantastically good decision. So all I'm saying is, don't expect that it's going to be something spectacularly different from the rest of your society. That's unfair, and it also creates illusions. By the way, I wasn't only talking about the Indian state. I'm talking about Indian society also. Okay? It's not just the state. The kind of social inequity, the kind of social issues that are, and by the way, another thing that the Wall Street Journal carried recently was how caste has changed so dramatically in India that Brahmins are now at the receiving end. I mean, this sort of thinking is also pretty reverse discrimination. Now, the idiot who wrote that report carries a table, and the table shows that of all the different communities he's carried the data for, he is talking about the community that are doing best and is the richest of those communities in his own table. Okay? You have very serious problems of perspective on these things because of how skewered the control over education, thinking, the public mind, all these issues are so skewered. So you have a problem about that. I don't think that you're going to be liberated by the judiciary. They can be a tool or a weapon from time to time. I think an overdependence on judiciary to get you what should be got by the public as an assertion of their rights, that is the way to go. That is the way to go. And Can we comment on our quantity population with quality population? No, I can't comment on that. Thank you very much.